By the end of this video, you'll learn the 8 most common mistakes advanced beginners make in pickleball, and more importantly, how to fix them so you can start playing confidently at the intermediate level. Everyone makes these mistakes at some point, so don't worry if you recognize yourself in a few of them. These are the things that hold players back just when they're starting to feel comfortable on court, and fixing them is like opening the door to the next level of play. So grab your paddle and let's go through them one by one. Let's start with one of the most frustrating problems, hitting the ball on the neck of your paddle. You know that clunky sound that makes your paddle vibrate and the ball just die right in front of you? Yeah, that's the one. It's annoying. It feels awful, and it's way more common than you think. The reason it happens is simple. Most players get a little too cautious and try to catch the ball in the middle, almost babying the shot. But here's a little trick. Instead of aiming for the center, pretend you're trying to hit the ball with the very tip of your paddle. I know that sounds backward, but when you aim for the tip, you actually end up hitting closer to the sweet spot in the middle. It's a psychological correction. It gives you the confidence to extend your reach and make fuller contact instead of pulling your paddle back too soon. Next time you're dinking or rallying, try this on purpose. Intentionally aim to hit with the tip for a few shots. You'll quickly start finding that true sweet spot without even realizing it, and that awful, clunky sound will be gone. Another mistake that sneaks up on newer players is not swinging through the ball. This happens when you take a short, jabby stroke because you're afraid of hitting too hard. You think, if I take a tiny swing, I won't overhit it, right? But ironically, those short stabbing motions make you hit the ball faster and more inconsistently. Instead, what you want is the exact opposite, a longer, slower, more deliberate swing. Try taking your paddle back a little further. Move it smoothly through the ball and follow through. The longer swing gives you control and rhythm. Even though the motion looks bigger, your slower tempo actually softens the shot and gives you better touch. You're not trying to poke the ball. You're brushing it. Once you start swinging through naturally, your consistency will skyrocket, especially in soft game situations like dinking and drops. The wrist flick. Every beginner does it and every coach warns about it. But here's the thing, flicking your wrist isn't always bad. There are moments in pickleball when you should use your wrist, like overhead smashes, aggressive volleys, or serves with spin. The problem is when you use your wrist as the main source of power on normal shots. When you flick instead of swinging through, your paddle face changes direction too quickly and your control goes out the window. You might get one nice winner, but the next 5 balls will be sailing long or dumping into the net. To fix it, think of this simple rule. Don't let your wrist break forward before your arm finishes the swing. When you're pushing through the shot, your wrist should stay firm, leading the paddle head with control. You can exaggerate this at first. Really focus on keeping your wrist stable and letting your follow-through finish high, pointing toward your opponent. If your paddle face ends up pointing back at you after a shot, that's a sign you flicked too much. Point the paddle forward, not at yourself. Once you start doing that, you'll notice smoother, cleaner shots and a ton more consistency. Now let's talk about one that's more strategic, hitting without purpose. This happens most often in the midcourt, especially when you're on the serving team working your way up after a return. You're stuck halfway. You see the ball coming and you just hit it. No plan, no target, no intention. This is one of the biggest habits holding advanced beginners back. When you just react randomly, you lose control of the point. You either hit too hard and pop it up, or hit too soft and leave it short. The fix? Always hit with intention. Even in defensive rallies, you should know why you're hitting a certain shot. In midcourt transitions, your goal is usually to hit soft, controlled drops that land in the kitchen, not random drives. When you aim softly into the kitchen, you give yourself time to move forward and take control at the net. That's how you turn defense into offense. The next mistake is one that seems small, but makes a huge difference. Not getting back into ready position after every shot. A lot of players finish a swing and just stand there, paddle low, waiting for the next ball. But that delay can cost you the point because you're giving your opponent all the time in the world to hit behind you or jam you with speed. After every shot, you should always come back to neutral. That means paddle up in front of your chest, slightly angled forward, knees bent, and feet ready to move. You'll be amazed how much more time you feel like you have just by coming back to ready every single time. This one's quick but vital. Bad footwork on baseline backhands. A lot of players try to hit backhands with their feet stuck in place, twisting their torso awkwardly. That kills your balance and power. Instead, use a simple two-step method. One step to the side, one step forward. That's it. Whether you're right-handed or left-handed, that two-step rhythm gives you stability and a clean setup. It's especially important on returns or third shot drops where the ball's coming deep. Move your feet, line up behind the shot, and let your body work with you instead of against you. Here's one of my favorite ones to fix because it gives you free points. Not letting out balls go. There's a saying in pickleball, shoulder high, let it fly. It's not perfect, but it's a solid rule of thumb. If the ball's above your shoulder and moving fast, there's a good chance it's going out. When players panic, they instinctively reach up and swat at every high ball. But if you can develop the discipline to hold back, you'll start earning easy points. Of course, this rule doesn't apply to slow lobs, those you'll have to chase down. But for drives and fast volleys, learn to read the ball's height and trajectory. If it's shoulder high or above, trust yourself to let it go. Even if you misjudge one or two, it's worth it. Start training your eyes to recognize where the opponent is hitting from. If they're swinging from low near the net, their shot has to travel upward, which usually means it's heading out. If they're hitting from high, then maybe it's dropping in. Try letting just one or two go in your next game. And finally, the most common and most fixable beginner mistake, popping up volleys. You've been there. You're at the kitchen line, the ball comes fast at your chest, and you panic. You jab your paddle out, the ball pops up, and your opponent slams it right back at you. The solution is to stop overreacting. When a fast ball comes your way, you don't need to swing, just block. The ball already has enough pace. All you have to do is absorb it. The key is to relax your grip and soften your hands. If you panic and tense up, the ball ricochets off your paddle like a trampoline. But if you stay calm and let the paddle act like a cushion, the ball dies softly on the other side. So there you have it. The 8 mistakes that hold advanced beginners back: hitting on the neck, not swinging through, flicking the wrist, hitting without purpose, skipping the ready position, bad backhand footwork, chasing out balls, and popping up volleys. The good news? Every single one of these is easy to fix with awareness and a little practice. The moment you stop making them, your game starts to look and feel like that of a solid intermediate player. Remember, improvement in pickleball isn't about mastering complicated tricks. It's about cleaning up the small, fundamental habits that make everything else work better.